We've got to save the trade? That's what everyone is saying anyway.
What's up, guys? This is Jesse Corby here at Jeweler's Advantage, and in this video, we are here to talk about how you can stay ahead of the curve in AI for the jewelry industry. And I do mean that literally. We're here to talk about the technology adoption lifecycle curve and what that means for who is going to win and lose in the future of the jewelry industry. And there will be winners and losers, and we can see them right here in this visual in the technology adoption lifecycle curve. In 2025, we've already had the people get their first mover advantage. We have the innovators and early adopters. These are the people that are using AI tools and developing AI tools like we are here at Jeweler's Advantage. And this visual that you see on the screen right now is a popular model used in the world of tech to predict who is going to be successful when a new technology emerges, something new that people need to adopt. So we're at a very important time right now called the chasm. This is the part where a technology becomes mainstream. And even though the jewelry industry is a little bit behind, the rest of the world is definitely at the chasm, and we're at a unique place because there are certain things happening that are making the technology adoption happen faster than it normally would. If you think back to the beginning of the internet or the beginning of computers at all, it took a little bit of time for people to decide that they were going to invest in a computer to have in their house, and it took a little bit of time before people started to get on email and start to figure out how they were going to use it for their business. Now, the reason this is happening faster today is because of the layoffs in all manner of industries due to AI. So everybody in America and the world over is at the chasm right now because many people have lost their jobs and they're going to be thinking, how can I get a job? What skills am I going to need? How am I going to make money? Well, I heard about this thing called ChatGPT. I haven't been using it. Maybe it's about time I learn how to use this AI thing. That's what's happening now because so many people have lost their jobs and are going to be trying to figure out a way to survive. The stakes really are that high. Now, if you're in the jewelry industry watching this, you probably feel like nobody has a plan. You probably feel like everybody has to figure it out. Well, you're going to need to take this visual to heart and understand that we really are at the chasm. It's kind of like Evel Knievel jumping the Grand Canyon, and everybody is now being forced to jump that Grand Canyon much faster. It's because when it comes to technology adoption, usually the biggest advantages are gained at the beginning before everyone else has figured it out. And now we're coming to the place where the early majority is going to start using AI because they have to survive. So we're coming into this new phase where anybody in the jewelry industry or anybody entering the jewelry industry from one of the places that was heavily disrupted, they're all going to be competing with one another using AI tools and learning how to use them on the fly. So we'll get to what you need to do to be prepared for that later on. Right now, let's start to figure out exactly how you could start using AI today to make a difference in your business and stay ahead of this curve. So this is our free tool, MasterJeweler AI. This is available at jewelersadvantage.com. You'll notice that we have conversation starters for brand, product, custom projects, and industry news. Let's make use of that industry news. If I were to just click this button, something like this would come up. Industry news, and then all of a sudden, I'm starting to figure out what's happening in the jewelry industry. We've got big news from Reed Krakow, one of the greatest creative directors in all of luxury, appears to be helping John Hardy. I didn't know about this, but now I have an article from Vogue on my screen, and I can figure out exactly who Reed Krakow is, and I can figure out what he's doing with his new venture or his new position, and figure out a little bit about who he's helped in the past. That's great to know in the jewelry industry, especially when using an AI that can function as a creative director, such as MasterJeweler AI. I also didn't know that Kendra Scott is back at the helm of her brand. Looks like they had to remove the CEO and bring back in the visionary leadership. Maybe an insight you could take from this is that just because your brand becomes super successful, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be on a beach forever. Maybe you're going to have to keep a finger on the pulse and know that when it comes to leading a brand, usually the founder that originally had the vision has the best read on how they are going to lead that brand. So that's already a couple of insights that we've gained that are helping us think like business owners of a jewelry brand. If you scroll down, this is going to help you actually understand the news. Not only are we getting the key headlines, we're getting contextual analysis. So you'll notice that anything that you're getting from MasterJeweler AI with industry news, we're talking about narrative bias. Sometimes a media outlet will report on a particular story, and that story may have been really functioning as a commercial for the business that wants to dictate what the messaging is in the market. MasterJeweler AI is going to help you sidestep that dynamic so that way you're not falling victim to fake news in the jewelry industry. There's a lot of big companies that need to maintain the status quo when it comes to things like lab diamonds or the types of trends that they're going to invest into designing for. You need to know what the actual truth is. So you can get the industry news just at the press of a button, but then you can also get analysis of who is this news actually helping. That way you can make good decisions as a business owner. From there, we can also figure out things like trends. We can figure out market trends and the size of a particular market. Then we can also figure out what you would need to do as the strategic decision maker of your business. So here we've got takeaways that are built into MasterJeweler AI that align with all of the brand and business strategy that we teach here at Jewelers Advantage. So this is like having a consultant in your pocket helping you not only get the news at the push of a button, you get analysis of that news, and then you also get business strategy on the back of that news. It's like, what if you could talk to Forbes magazine and have it know what you need to do for your business and actually give you real advice for what you could do with wherever you are? Maybe you have a small business, maybe you have a bigger business. This is going to help you make better decisions regardless. So we were showing this to one of our colleagues in China. As you've heard on the news, there's all kinds of tension between the US and China when it comes to AI and tariffs. All of that actually really hurts the jewelry industry, where it's really just small business owners in the US, small business owners in China that have worked together for decades and have done a great job together. All of a sudden, we're in a position where we have to figure out how to make things work. For the Chinese business contact we're talking to, we were saying, hey, let's show them how to do this. Tell me jewelry industry trends for the Chinese retail market. And by doing that, we discovered that there is a decline in Western brands and more of an emphasis on homegrown talent in China to develop their own brands for their own consumer economy. So I didn't know about this. I didn't know about Lao Pu, who is now the Hermès of gold for China, basically developing their own luxury market in-house. That's very interesting. What lessons can we take from this in another market, whether it's the US or any other jewelry brand across the land? What lesson can we take from being able to go in to get industry news, adapt it to our market, and then figure out how we're going to develop our brand? Well, what I did was I went back into MasterJeweler AI and clicked the button for brand. And that will bring up something like this. This just opens up a brand consultation where you're going to learn the brand prism for developing a jewelry brand. This is a Fortune 500 framework. We teach it at Jewelers Advantage. You can learn this if you join AI for Jewelers. This is where we teach you how Fortune 500 level businesses and brands manage their relationship with the market and their customer and their creative identity and their product. Everything lives in the brand prism. So if you hit this button, you're getting the most comprehensive view on how you could develop your business and your products and how you're going to sell them. That just starts this off automatically. And then we were starting to figure out, hey, we want a high-end brand out of Chengdu, China. That's where the pandas are from, if you like pandas. The aesthetic should appear to be a European luxury brand, but still honor the culture of China. Now, this is just an example. Maybe you're from a country in Africa. Maybe you're in a country in Southeast Asia. Maybe you're in a Northern European country that isn't known for luxury per se, but you'd like to create a jewelry brand that honors your heritage. This is the angle we were going with. China's just the example in this situation. So I said, create a brand concept image with a female model, including pandas. It didn't give me the landscape, but we got a beautiful picture of this woman. My contact here brought up a great point. He's like, this reminds me of some of my older family members, like my grandmother when she was young. Maybe this is something that she would have worn. It's very traditional. Of course, the color red is significant in China. That was brought in automatically by the AI. And then, of course, we've got kind of a design aesthetic coming here, and then the pandas are helping us tell a beautiful story. Okay, so this was really interesting feedback from this contact. I was thinking, what if we don't want to be traditional? Write a brand prism for this brand, but make it a modern, futuristic take on this style. How could we update this? If I'm from a traditional culture, how could I take my traditional culture and honor that so that I will have built-in product market fit within my market, within the people that I sell to? How can I update that though so that I can sell to the customer of the next 5 years, the customer of tomorrow, the next generation coming up? So what MasterJeweler AI did was it broke down the same brand prism framework mentioned above and then started talking about how we could make that more of a futurist luxury narrative from Chengdu, China. This is a very big city in mainland China. We've got the Empress of the Future. That stood out to me. This is certainly somebody that looks like an empress. What's she going to look like in the future? Architectural elegance meets poetic symbolism. Let's keep that in mind for later. That's interesting. We want to be rooted in heritage, but awakened by innovation. That sounds like more of a forward-thinking brand. It's more than a purchase, though. It's a passage. We want to bring in symbolism. We want to bring in emotion into the brand to make the transaction elevated. It's more than just an exchange of money. It's a rite of passage. Now there's emotion. I am timeless. I am tomorrow. That's what this person might think when they evolve into the next version of the brand. I am something. Who is the customer trying to become, and how can we show that to them? So we're going to show them that this is for the cultural futurists with roots and range as a person. And then this is what we got. All of those things put together, we found a way to take a traditional culture in China, a country that is part of the DNA of the jewelry industry, regardless of what is going on politically, and we found a way to take a very traditional and proud culture and update it for tomorrow. This is just an example of the technology adoption lifecycle curve in action. There is a young Chinese entrepreneur out there that could go create that brand. Maybe you're in a different country. Maybe you live in an emerging AI powerhouse such as Norway or the United Arab Emirates, and you want to find a way to bring the luxury industry into your market in a place that's typically just outsourced to the United States and Europe, namely London, Paris, or Milan, for how they are going to dictate their fashion. You can develop that now in-house. You can create something new, but you have to be ahead of the curve to do that. So if you want to get involved, I invite you to come check out AI for Jewelers. This is our learning community. This is all of our course content where you're going to be able to learn AI hands-on with an action-based roadmap. So everything we have here, you're going to notice that we have course material that is also underpinned by a strategy. So we have jeweler identity and strategy, AI jewelry design. Here's courses for jeweler identity and strategy, AI, and AI jewelry design, and we show you step-by-step how to develop an AI-first jewelry brand using our frameworks. This is the action-based roadmap that you'll get access to, and then all of the prompts that you can copy and paste directly into MasterJeweler AI to create the jewelry brand that you want to own. All of this is customizable. So maybe this is going to be you. Maybe if you are a member of China's jewelry industry, you're making adjustments in-house for how you're going to do things. Maybe you're in a different market in a country that has never really had the luxury space, but now you have an opportunity to get in and be first while other people are trying to learn how to adapt. We estimate that 50% of the jewelry retail market is going to go out of business because they can't adapt. But if you see and understand what you're saying, that is an opportunity for you. So this is Jesse Corby at Jewelers Advantage. Head to jewelersadvantage.com, check out MasterJeweler AI for free, and we will see you in AI for Jewelers.